All right, welcome to lesson 9 of phase 1, intro to Fibonacci. We're going to go through the history of it, what it is, why it's important, and then how to use it in the charts. Right, so what a Fibonacci is, it's a number sequence. It's just a math sequence, really. And it's the first two numbers that precede a number. When you add them up together, that is that number. So for example, it starts at 0, then it goes to 1, then 0 plus 1 is 1, then 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. So each number is the sum of the two numbers that come before it. So it's an ever-growing pattern. And this pattern is pervasive throughout all of the world, throughout nature, throughout technology, everything. This pattern is everywhere, right? It's even in the charts. If you look right here, this is actually a Fibonacci sequence inside of Romanesque broccoli. And what this is actually called is called a phyllotaxis or phylotactic patterns. So you'll see a lot of these in, for example, leaves on a stem. Right, so a phylotactic pattern is basically a perfect pattern within nature that resembles a Fibonacci. Right? Fruit sprouts on a pineapple. Right? Flowering of an artichoke. Right? The arrangement of a pine cone's bracts. So all nature, all plants, a lot of them have patterns, and the Fibonacci, for example, like right here, that we can see, is very, very powerful. And there's something called the golden ratio, which is 1.618. And the golden ratio, the 1.618, it's a retracement level on the fibs, which I'll show you in a second. And you know, it gets traded to on the charts a lot. And the golden ratio is used in math and science to, used in calculations, right? Now, if we go into the charts, and then I'm going to pull out the Fibonacci tool. So the whole reason you would use this is you would measure and move from a high to a low or a low to a high. So I'm going to go from right here, this high, to this low over here. So right here, all the way down to this low. So this whole move I'm measuring. So if you're going down, you're going to go from the top to the bottom. If you're measuring a move up, that's bullish, you're going to go from the bottom to the top. So right here, these are the fib levels. So right here we have, let me just move this. So you got 50% of a retracement. So from here to here is 100%, right? And then this is 50% retracement here, 0.618, that's the golden ratio. Okay, if you want to get your fibs out and set it up like this, you can. The 0.705, the 786, the 886, and then of course, the top. So these are the fib settings that I use on my fibs when I'm measuring a move. So below, I should say above, anything here, the 618, 705, all of this is a discount level. So this is where, you can be a seller if price action permits, right? But anything below 50%, so let's say you're bearish, price drops, and price is here, and you're looking to sell from here, you're selling in a premium market, right? Because the 50%, anything above this 50% here, this is all a premium market. Anything past the 50%, this would all be a discount market. So this is where you want to be a seller in a discount. Okay. Right, that's what the banks are doing. They're selling in a discount. They're buying in a discount. They're not buying, right here. They're waiting, and they're allowing price to return. In this case, they're selling to then, sell more to take price lower. So typically, if you're looking to short things, a lot of the time, and you have a move from here to here, and price, let's say price is here, it's printing this green candle, and you fibbed out the high to the low, you're not even interested in taking any sells until it gets into a discount range. And then you would start looking at price action, looking at imbalances to get filled, be looking at breaker blocks, be looking at order blocks, all that stuff in confluence with the fibs. Right? The fibs aren't the be-all, end-all. Like I mentioned, don't get stuck on just market structure. Don't get stuck on one indicator. You have to use these all in confluence, and there's a time and place for each one depending on the situation. So if you're looking at market structure and it's bearish, and then you're looking to short, right? Some people might think, okay, we have our high, we have our low, lower high, lower low, and then people might, want to sell right here because they want to see a lower high to then make a lower low. However, we have, we had liquidity up here, equal highs. We have some imbalance up here as well, right? So it's likely price will get up here first into a discount area to sweep some liquidity and fill in a price imbalance before trading lower. So, you have to use things in confluence with each other. Now, the magic is not the fib, right? The reason price reacts in a certain area is because the bank causes it to, right? The interbank price delivery algorithm, it causes it to, they move the market, they will go long or go short in a certain area. And of course, you're learning how to do that, but the magic is not the fib, right? The fib is not the reason the price reacts in a certain area. The fib is just to give you a confluence that you're in a premium market or you're in a discount market. Now you can start looking for entries, and it's just to line up with your entries as well. Okay, so let's say you're looking to buy. Okay, we have our low. Price starts dropping, and then you want to buy, and you see a low, you see a high. Let's say you're anticipating price to get up here. Okay. Yes, looking at this now, we know this. You would be on the wrong side of the market. You would have gotten stopped out. But just for example, let's say somebody wants to see price run above this high, and they see a low and a high, and they're looking for a retracement. So what they would do is they would take their fibs, and I fib wick to wick, but you can do body to body if you like. There really is not much difference. It does not matter. They're both pretty much the same. So I'm going to go from this low here, because this is my trading range, to this high right here. So from this low to this high, and let's say we have our 618 retracement here, we have our 705, and the 705 lines up beautifully with this down candle, this bullish order block, this last down candle before this impulsive move. So now this 705 retracement lines up with that. So when price gets down here, sure, it taps below the 50%, but you want a better discount, so you wait. Price comes down here, still leaves a little bit of an imbalance in there. So you still haven't taken a buy. And then, finally, right, put this here. Finally, price gets down to the 705 right here. And then that's where you want to be a buyer. And then you would buy it. Of course, you would have gotten either hit break even or stopped out. But you would use this Fibonacci tool, this Fibonacci tool in confluence with other things. Let's say you're looking at something like this. Okay, so I encourage you to go into your charts and fib out swing highs, swing lows, and see where price reacts, see what happens. Right, if we continue over here. Okay. So we have our high, low, high, low. High, low, high, low, high. So we have a break of structure right here, right? Because we closed above this trading range we identified. So now we're looking to buy on a retracement. So we identify order block, identify some imbalance we want to see filled right up here. And now let's get the fibs out. So I'm going to go from this swing low here to this swing high. Price comes and it actually misses the discount area. So you would have taken a miss on that. And that is okay. You don't have to catch every single trade. Price will not always hit the 618 perfectly. It's not always going to hit the 705 perfectly. But this is something you would use in confluence to get a better position in the market. Let's continue. Let's move this to where price is no longer in a consolidation. Okay. So we're in a consolidation here. Now we break out of the range. And now we've got our high here and our last low. So this is our trading range. And we want to see price trade higher. So then we get our fibs out. Low to high. What do we identify? We identify our last down candle here. We identify it's right lined up with the 786. Very nice. See it's in a bullish structure and it wants to trade higher. And if you took a buy, now that your confluence lines up, not just the fib, but all of your other confirmations, your structure, your order block, higher time frame direction, and your fibs, then that would be a great buy. It's in a discount zone. It came past the 50% into the discount and expanded. Now same thing again. Let's have a look here. Let's fib from this low to this high. We want to be a buyer. And price retraces. So identify, okay, last down candle right here. I also see liquidity over here was swept. There we go. That's our last down candle. We're in a bullish structure. Right, this candle body closed above these candle bodies, so that would be a valid higher high. So everything lines up, our fibs line up, structure lines up, liquidity sweep, our institutional candle. Price trades back down into it, pull the trigger on that. And there it goes. Right. So you bought here on the 786, took it to a higher high. Here's your 1 to 4, took it all the way up to here. There's your 1 to 7-ish. Now again, next swing high. Here we have, so here's the top of our range. Here is our swing low, this wick. I'm going to use the wick because I mentioned I like using the wicks. I don't like using the bodies as much, but it's personal preference. It's up to you. See whatever works. Let's see what we have. This candle drove down into this order block here and then made a big run. So my eyes go to this significant bearish candle right here. So I'm looking at this. Now, does our fib line up with it? Oh, the 786 again. So this pair is quite likely to retrace to the 786 retracement level because we've seen it likes to do that. So we got our high, low, high, we're in a bullish structure. Price is retracing, coming back down. It's left in balance right in here. It's got some liquidity below these lows, so we can anticipate a push down into our order block and our 786 discount level, and then to trade higher above this high. Right, so that's how you would use your fibs in confluence with all of your other confirmations. So that is the basics of the fibs. It's not too much, not too complicated, but don't just rely on the fibs. Use it with all of your other confirmations together, and this will greatly improve your accuracy. So this has been the end of phase 1. So make sure you tie all this stuff together, and then moving on into phase 2. We'll see you there.